Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Credit Talk XL. Yes, XL. We have some extra time here tonight, so we're really excited about that. So what Credit Talk is, it's a live call-in show, and you see our number below, which is 312-738-1060. So this is a live call-in show where if you have questions about credit reports, if you have derogatory items, or you want to know about credit scores, any type of credit question, that's what we're here. We're here to help you. We also have a help center that we will let you know about a little bit later. The web address is right behind me. But I want to thank everybody for watching this show. We had such a great show last week, and I want to thank Tracy, the mortgage broker, for being on here. It was just fantastic. We had so many phone calls. Just want to kind of go over a couple things that we did discuss, because we got flooded with calls at the help center afterwards. You know, some of the big topics were, how much money do I need to buy a house? Again, Tracy went over a bunch of ways to purchase a home. FHA mortgage, where you're putting 3 to 4% down of the purchase price, which is a big way. A lot of people do that. So instead of coming up with 20%, on a $100,000 home, that would be $20,000 versus $4,000. And granted, your payment's going to be a little bit higher and you do have to pay a little insurance, but it's a more affordable way to purchase a house. So FHA, so talk to a realtor or a mortgage broker about that if you're looking to purchase, and compare rent versus buying. A lot of times buying is the way to go. There's ownership, appreciation, tax deduction. So if you're spending $1,500 on your mortgage, but you will have tax deduction, so you might net out at $1,300 versus paying $1,600 in rent. So that's real important. So look at that. It's usually a win-win about that. Some of the other topics, how does bad credit affect my interest rate? Huge. Bad credit is definitely going to change your interest rate. So if you have bad credit, that will make your rate go higher. And a lot of times it's also going to lower your score. You might not qualify to get a mortgage with a low credit score. You definitely won't. So you need to keep your score as high as possible. And we're going to get into some things this show and explain, about credit scores and how to obtain higher credit scores. And if you do have derogatory information, what can be done about that. We talked about the one call that I like is the people that tell me that they've got, a box of cash underneath their mattress and they want to buy a house, but they need to get a mortgage. Unfortunately, today's mortgage industry, everything has to be documented. They want to know, where did this money come from? So you can't just pull out $50,000 of cash without it being documented, and for good reason. So, and again, tax returns have to be provided. And if you say you make $100,000, but I do all these write-ups and I only show $20,000 on my tax returns, that's the dollar amount that they're going to go with, is the $20,000. So I know nobody likes to pay taxes, but it's one of those things that unfortunately we all have to do. So if your tax return shows a good amount and it's the right amount to purchase a home, you will be able to get that house. Okay. So enough with last week. It was a great show. Thank you, Tracy. We will have her on again. We're going to have a lot of exciting guests on the show as well. Realtors, mortgage brokers, attorneys, everybody that has something to do with credit and can add more benefits to our show. So we're really looking forward to it. All right, we're going to get into a hot topic tonight. It's called credit repair. We've all heard of it. We've seen the commercials. We've seen it on TV, the radio. I hear it on satellite radio all the time now. Companies talking about credit and can they fix your credit report. I'm going to talk tonight about the pros and cons. So if you have any questions about credit repair, I want you to call me now before these phone lines do fill up at the number below at 312-738-1060. So let's go to the presentation right now. Okay, does credit repair really work? As I've told many people before, there's a lot of skeptical people out there saying, oh, credit repair doesn't work, and there's a lot of people that do. You have to find the right company if you're going to use credit repair. We always tell you that make sure that they're registered, make sure they're bonded, make sure that they're not charging you some large fee up front, and that's it, one payment, and then we're going to work on your report for 6 months. You can't do that. To be in compliance, they have to charge a month-to-month fee. Okay, so they start out, they do some work, bam, they can charge you the fee. So that's how you know one thing that they're in compliance. If a company is going to sit there and make you all kinds of promises about your credit, oh, don't worry, Mr. Stern, we're going to get you perfect in 30 days. I always tell people, run the other way, because nobody can promise. So be, real careful, and we'll get into a little bit more about where you can look and check out these companies. Okay, so as I mentioned, yes, after reviewing some of the most popular credit repair agencies and results of their clients, definitely conclude that these services can work for the right type of person. What should I look for in a credit repair company? Well, in today's age, what do we say? Internet, internet, internet. You got Google, Yelp, Yahoo, all these great services. Just plug in credit repair. See what comes up. If you're in Chicago, type in credit repair Chicago. See what comes up. Read reviews. When I go to a restaurant, what do? I go on Yelp. I look at reviews of the restaurant. I want to see what other people think. The nice thing about these reviews, again, they're biased. These are from real customers, real clients of credit repair. So they're going to tell you, yes, no, these guys are good, they're bad. So it's always a good thing to read reviews about a company. If you do sign up with a credit repair company, make sure that they have a contract. They have to. They have to provide you a lot of information. All kinds of consumer disclosures from the state, from the federal government. They have to provide you a notice of cancellation. So basically what means that if you sign up with a credit repair company, you have 72 hours to cancel for a full refund. If a credit repair company does not provide that to you in their documentation, they're not in compliance. So I would stay away from those companies. Find out how long these companies have been in business as well. That's real important. And listen, our audience here is mainly in Chicago. There's a lot of good companies here in Chicago. Just check them out. There's no reason that you need to go out of state. If you can drive and even see one of these companies, that's even better. Make sure it's a real operation and that they're not working out of their house. Also, a good credit repair company, they're not going to push you. They're not going to bully you to be in. And not a lot of them, but there are certain companies out there that will also pull your report. Ask them if they will do a soft pull, meaning they will pull the report. It's not a hard inquiry. As we talked before, inquiries, a hard inquiry is when you go to get a car or a mortgage. That deducts a couple points off your credit report. So soft pull, that's the same as if you're going on the credit bureau and ordering yourself a credit report and paying for it. So have the company review it, or if you have a report, email it to them so they can review your file with them. And a good company is going to tell you, yes, you're a good candidate. No, you're not a good candidate. And again, if they make you any kind of promises saying, don't worry, we guarantee that everything is going to come off, run for the hills, as I would say. Okay. How do they do it? Well, a good credit repair company is going to use the laws and leverage the rights. There's three things that you're basically looking for. It's the credit reports, and let's go to this. The credit reports must be 100% accurate, meaning if a credit, like say you had a bank card that was closed and it says you still have a balance, but you closed this thing, a year ago, that's not 100% accurate. That has to be corrected. It has to be, fair. If you have stuff on there that just does not belong to you, maybe it's your father's and that you have the same name, that's not correct either. Plus, all this information has to be 100% verifiable. So there are ways that credit repair companies do use the laws in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, dollar amounts, accuracy, dates. So that's how they challenge your report. Can you do it yourself? Yes, you can definitely do this yourself. There's a lot of good books out there and internet, but it depends how much time you have. I've heard people all the time, I hear stories all the time, well, I started this, but then I got busy with the kids, something else came up. It's a very time-consuming process. So again, do you do your own tax returns? No, you might go to an H&R Block or an accountant of some sort. So, seek out professional advice as well. That's what my recommendation is. But, definitely if you want to tackle it yourself, go for it. credit repair and credit reports, can things be deleted? Here's just an example. One of our people at the Help Center actually sent us this. So I know it's a little bit small, but if you look on the bottom right, you actually see a couple accounts that do show deletions. What is a great credit score? This one right here, 797. If you look at the scale, poor being 300 and exceptional being 850. Now, a 797 is in the very good. And I got to be honest with you, we see a lot of credit scores at the center. Rarely do I see anything in the 800s. If somebody comes to buy a house or buy a car and they're in the 797, they're golden. So when you see all those commercials for cars and they talk about 0% financing for Tier 1 people, this is exactly what it is. So Tier 1 is somebody that's going to have a high credit score like this. So again, good credit scores mean good rates. You get what you want. But just because you have a good rate and a credit rating, don't abuse it. I always say have, one or two major credit cards. That's all you need. You don't need to have all these department store credit cards, because we see it so many people will call us at the Help Center and they tell us the story, oh, I got 10% off by signing up tonight, or 20%. But now they got 10, 15 credit cards. We see it all the time. The problem is now you got 10, 15 places to pay. What happens when that bill that you mailed in or the check gets there late? You forget about it. Or what if the bill doesn't come to you? You're late, and bam, you get that negative mark on your credit report. So again, a couple of credit, Visa, MasterCards, that's all you need. I know that Costco, I know a lot of people go to Costco out there, and they actually switched from American Express. Now they're taking Visa cards. So there's more Visa debit cards out there than American Express. So that's great to know as well. But credit cards, again, just be careful. Okay, so let's go to our first call and see what they have to say. Hello, caller.
Hi, thank you for taking my phone call.
Sure.
I have a question. My car's almost paid off, and I'm wondering, should I upgrade to another car, or should I just stay with what I have?
Well, it depends. Do you want to have a car payment, or do you not? That's one of the big questions. And how old is the car?
It's about 10 years old.
Okay. And I was just having this discussion with somebody at the Help Center today. The problem we can have sometimes with that is now you might run into maintenance issues. And that, you got to calculate that. What's it going to cost me to repair this car? Because not if, but when will they break? They will break. And it depending on your mileage and stuff like that. And if you can get into a new car at a low monthly payment, then I'm a car guy, so I say go for it. But make sure that you can afford it. That's the biggest thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Hello, caller.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question, please.
Sure. Well, can you turn your TV down a little bit?
I would like to know if you pay a credit card off, will your credit score go down? Or if you don't use the card anymore, will your credit score go down? Or if the store just closes because you don't use it?
That's an excellent question. So the rule of thumb is with your credit limit, if it's, let's say it's $1,000, you want to keep it below 30%. And can you turn your TV down? Because we're getting a little bit of a feedback.
Okay.
So, again, you want to keep your credit card balance below 30%. So by paying it down is good, and keeping it open is good. Now, we tell people all the time, I'll see on a credit report, somebody has a credit card, and they haven't used it for several years, and they opened it in like 2004. What's going to happen is, yes, the creditor will close that credit card. So I always tell people, go out and buy a pair of socks. I don't care what it is. Go buy something, return it, whatever. You want to stimulate that card a little bit because they will shut you off.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for calling. Okay, that was actually an excellent question that she had, and there was a little feedback, so I apologize about that. But I see that so many times. People say, "Oh, I'm going to close this credit card," and I look at the report. They opened the card in 1998. No, don't close that card because length of credit is a huge part of a credit score. Because even if you have, say, you get rid of all your derogatory information and you start out with a couple secured credit cards, which we've talked about, say the limits are $300, $500, you're not going to be, a 797. You're going to start out, you got to crawl, walk, and run. So again, you will eventually get your score up, but keep those old credit cards that you've had for 10, 15 years, keep those things open. And again, use them once in a while so they don't shut you up, because I see it all the time. All of a sudden, somebody's got limited credit, they shut it off, and bam, that score drops. It happens more than often. So again, if you have some old cards and you haven't used them in a while, definitely use them, but don't go crazy with them. And I'm just going to flash up here real quick our help center number, because we haven't really talked about it. So I know a lot of people might not want to discuss this on air, so we do get flooded with calls back at the help center. So our number there, and you feel more than free to leave a voicemail now. It's 773-862-4000, and we will definitely get to you. Okay, so again, credit repair can work for people, but everybody's situation is different. Okay, let's go to our next caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, Todd. I just wanted two things. I wanted to make a comment and I have a question.
Okay.
My first comment is that I have just really enjoyed your show.
Well, thank you.
You've just been a tremendous help, and I've had lots of questions about credit and how it works and all that, and you've just been such a huge help in answering a lot of questions that I've had. A lot of people don't talk about really what's going on with credit, so I wanted to thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's a very nice compliment.
And I do have a question, and I don't know if someone gave me their phone number, but I talked to a credit repair company in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And they wanted me to pay like $4,000 up front to do some credit repair and work on my credit. And they also said, I thought that was kind of high, but they said that they could guarantee that everything would be fine, that everything would come out all right. Can they do that? Is that right?
Excellent question. There's red flags all over that call, and unfortunately there are companies out there like that will take advantage of a consumer, because people that have credit issues are in a situation where they want to buy this house, and a lot of times they're desperate and they'll do anything and they will believe anything, which is not good. No, number one, if they charge you $4,000, which is crazy, that's an advance fee. So they cannot do that, and that's in violation. Number two, they cannot guarantee. I mean, if they could guarantee that, why don't they just pick the lottery numbers and go buy a ticket? That's basically what it is. So right away, they're just trying to sell you. And I hate to say it, then we hear Las Vegas and Boiler Room, and I don't like it. So you got to be really careful. Stay away from super high companies like that. And again, it's an advance fee, so they're fully out of compliance. They're going to tell you what you want to hear, which is not correct. Thank you so much thank you for that compliment. That was extremely nice. We really appreciate it. And everybody watching this Credit Talk show. We were on maybe 10, 12 years ago. We did probably 75, 100 shows. Loved it. Our audience, and I hope most of you are back watching this show. So let's go to our next caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello. I get a lot of letters in the mail for, to consolidate my credit. But one thing is that it seems like what they're offering, and I know that these are just generic letters, but it's less than what I owe. Say I owe $30,000 in credit card debt, and they're offering plans for maybe 12,000 or 14,000 to consolidate some. So is this something that I should go through? Can I negotiate what I fully owe? And then my other question on top of that is that it seems like it's a commitment for me to do that, because then I really can't then touch my cards because I'm already paying such a large percent or such a large bill off.
Well, those are two very important topics. So first of all, the company that is sending you this consolidation, is it the actual credit card company or is it a third party?
A third party.
Okay. So you have to be very, very careful with that. We were just talking to somebody at the center that went through something like that. She paid in like some crazy amount, like $25,000. But the problem with a lot of these companies, and a lot of them actually got shut down because of the practice. What they do is they charge you, they're taking their fees. They're taking their fees out of your money right at the beginning. And then they're going to tell you also, stop paying your credit cards. Because if you're paying your credit cards right now, even if it's a minimum amount that you're paying, the problem is the credit card company, they're like, hey, this guy's paying the minimum. He's not late. He's paying. We're charging high interest, so no, we're not going to negotiate. When do the credit card companies negotiate? When you default. And that's what these companies want you to do. And that's what happened, why they got shut down years ago, because it's really bad advice telling people out there, don't pay your bills, because that's not good. Now, if you're in a situation where they haven't been paid and they've been charged off or written off, as they would say, if you're really looking to do this, you know what? Start out yourself. Call the credit card company if it's still with them. Try to negotiate yourself. That you're going to, first of all, you're going to save a lot of money in fees having somebody else do it. And make sure that, you know, if you do this, that let's say your bill is, you owed $7,000. You want to pay $2,500 or $3,000. You have to make sure that you have that money available and you are willing to part with it, because what will happen is they're going to say to you, okay, we'll take $2,500, but the deal is good for 72 hours. So you have to make sure that you have that money and you are ready to pay at that time, because they're going to give you a short window to do it with. So again, you know, be careful with those consolidation companies. There are some good ones. There's some non-for-profit companies out there. You know, look for those companies and make sure, find out what are the fees, because that's where they get you. Thank you so much for the call. And let's go to our next call. Hello, caller.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Question. So I filed a Chapter 7 about Chapter 7 bankruptcy about maybe 3 years ago. One of the accounts that I included in the bankruptcy, credit card, Visa, the collection company called me up and was still pursuing me for the money, even though I included this account in my BK. And I tried finding tried locating my bankruptcy attorney to ask him what was going on, but he was no longer around. And they won't listen to me, and they keep coming at me. Now they're saying they're going to threaten me with garnishments. At this point, I just don't know where to turn to.
Okay, so a couple of things. Do you still have your bankruptcy papers? Do you have the documents from the filing?
Sorry?
Do you still have your bankruptcy papers, all the papers you got from the bankruptcy? I think we might have lost that caller. But, okay, so what you would do in that situation, which we've seen this before, first of all, you tell the collection agency that, hey, I filed this in my bankruptcy petition. They should check it out. Number two, if you do have your documents, look at the creditors. Make sure that credit card was listed as one of the debts. Because if it is, then you can say, listen, I got this. And if I would then write a letter to them, send it certified, return receipt, so you get the little green card back so you have proof. And if for some reason, if they still don't do it, then the company, that's a huge violation. And if you remember, a couple weeks ago, we had attorney Larry Smith on here, and that's his forte. They're violating your rights, and that's what he does. He goes after these people because they're causing you problems. And a lot of times, that might affect your credit, even to buy a new house, because they might have marked it on the credit report, even though it was filed. We see that before. Say you had a major credit card, you file bankruptcy, that's included. Then it goes to ABC Credit Collection Agency, and they pop it on after the fact. Well, they're violating so many things there, and it ruins your ability to obtain new credit. So again, caller, I'm sorry that we lost you there, but give us a call at the help center at 862-4000. Again, at 773-862-4000. That was a great question. Again, for people that just tuned in, my name is Todd Stern. This is Credit Talk XL, extended version tonight here. We have some extra time, so we really want to thank the people at CAN TV for giving us this time. We get so many calls, and we would love to get them all in, but we always seem to run out of time, so thank you very much. This is a live call-in show regarding your credit reports, credit, bad credit, good credit, credit scores, mortgages. That's what we talk about here. So give us a call right now at 312-738-1060, and we can talk about your credit issues or needs. And I'm going to go to another presentation here in a second. Let me just flip back here. So this is an educational piece that I put together about, let me get this going here. I call this Credit 101. What is a credit report? We're going to just take a couple topics because we don't have much time to go over this. So let's take a couple here. So what is a credit report? What do creditors look for in my credit? And what is a credit score? A credit report is a detailed report of an individual's credit history. It's prepared by a credit bureau and used by a lender to determine a loan application's credit worthiness. What's on a credit report? Personal data, a summary of the credit history, meaning if you pay on time, detailed account information, meaning how much do you owe, what is your credit limit, when did you open the account, inquiries, and as we talked about before, inquiry is every time you apply for a credit card or you go to a car dealership, they pull your credit and that shows up on your report. Anything over 4 is bad. It's going to start really affecting your score because an inquiry can be anywhere from 2 to 3 points. So be careful, especially when you go to car dealerships. Be careful because these guys will send it out to 5, 6 finance companies. So tell them, especially if you know you have good credit, say, listen, I got good credit. If I'm going for Honda, send it to Honda. I don't want to go to 6 different places. So that's really important. The credit report is also a details of all your negative information. Bankruptcies, public records, that could be tax liens, student loan late payments, collection agencies, charge-offs. A charge-off, again, is say you have a major credit card and you did not pay it in full. That's a charge-off. So it's going to list all that information. Okay, this is why do lenders look at my credit? Number one reason, to determine your ability to pay back the loan. What are they in business for? To lend money. And when they lend money, they charge a fee for it. That's their business. So the interest is how they make their money. That's how they keep everything going. So again, they want to make sure that your credit worthiness is good enough to pay this loan back. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get a loan if your credit isn't 100%, but the problem is with a low score, you're going to have a higher interest rate. So they see that, and they call it sometimes subprime. And I mean, I've seen car loans 18% or more. And you could, if you have good credit, and say your interest rate is maybe 3%, 4%. Say your payment could be, let's say $350. But when you have these subprime loans and you're at 18, 19%, that $350 loan could be, $500 or more. So that's why it's really, really important that you have high credit scores, just like we're talking here. And something that's really important, people ask us all the time, how are credit scores calculated? Let me get in here a little bit closer. Okay. Payment history. Look at that. 32% of your credit score is based on your credit history. Utilization, meaning your credit line versus how much you have out. So remember, every time you go over 30% of your credit limit, that's going to start hurting your score. That should actually be more on your balances. Utilization will be the mix of credit. Recent credit, actually when you add credit on your report, sometimes that will drop your score for a little bit, but it will come back up. So, it's really important that you have all these things in line. To make it really simple, you got to pay your bills on time, and you don't want your balances to max out, meaning if your credit limit's $1,000, I don't want to see it at $997. I've seen them sometimes where the banks will let you go over the limit as well. So your $1,000 credit limit, now they owe $1,010. Now they're getting you on, the score is getting you on over the credit limit plus over that 30% line. So try to keep those balances as low as possible. And I know it's not easy. Sometimes things come up. I get it. But if you do have to bring it up high, try to pay it down. Go online, pay your bills, and even have it set up automatically. So again, we've talked about this before. I only have a couple minutes left here, so I'm going to go real quick. Set up with your credit card company where if for some crazy reason you miss the payment, it's going to draw the minimum payment amount. So if the minimum payment is $23, it's going to take that $23 out of your checking account as long as you have that money. So make sure that you have all these things in play with that. Again, keep just a couple credit cards, and that way it's not going to mess up your credit. And let's just go to one more slide here. So we are basically out of time. Let me just give you actually our toll-free number as well at the Help Center, 844-414-7700. If you want, leave a message right now if we didn't get to you, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So I do want to thank everybody for watching the show tonight. Great questions. Excellent. I also do want to, I forgot to mention, last week I was at this show while my daughter was getting her honors society at school with her 4.0 grade point average. So congratulations, Emily. I really am proud of you. And but unfortunately, the show must go on. So again, thank you for watching. Have a great week. See you later.